Hi, superstars. It's time for math, and we are on lesson 3-3. Count 8 and 9. We're going to learn how to represent a group of 8 and 9 in different ways. Let's look at this picture here. Jackson makes some sandwiches for lunch at the beach. Use counters and draw a picture on the blank sign to show how many sandwiches he made. So we have sandwiches down here, and we have this right here. We call this a 10 frame, and we call it a 10 frame because there are 10 squares in it. So the first way we are going to show how many sandwiches he made is by using counters that I'm going to draw in our 10 frame. So we're going to use one counter for each sandwich. So in order for me to not count the sandwich more than once, I'm going to draw a line through each one, and I'm going to then draw a counter. So I'm going to do this each time so I can keep track of which sandwich I am counting. So for each sandwich, I draw a counter, and I do this one at a time until there are no more sandwiches. Okay, so now I have counters in this 10 frame. So this 10 frame is going to help me count easier because it's a little more organized. We know that in this half of my 10 frame, there are 5 spaces, and over here there are 5 spaces in the lower half. So we can count to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to write 8 here because we have 8 counters. So he has 8 sandwiches. I can represent the sandwiches in a different way by drawing on this blank sign. I can draw shapes. I can draw squares for each sandwich. And again, I'm going to put another mark to represent that sandwich. So that's the next sandwich. I will put a square here, another sandwich, another square. It can be any shape you want. Another square, another sandwich, and another square. I do this for each sandwich. And now I've represented the sandwiches in a different way. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, there are 8 sandwiches. So we used counters and we used drawings to represent the number 8. Let's go to our next page. All right, let's look at our first picture here. I see ants on a table. How many ants are there? Well, let's count to see. I'm going to put a line through each ant we count, so we don't count it twice. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we counted 9 ants. How can we find out how many counters there are? Let's count them. So we're over here, and we have these 10 frames, and we want to see how many counters are in our 10 frames. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 counters. So does it matter which counter we count first? No, as long as you know which counter you counted, it doesn't matter where you start, but just make sure you draw a line through it as you're counting so that you don't double count. So why are there 9 counters? because there are 9 ants. And there's one counter for each ant. So how many counters should we color over here? We should color in 9 to show 9 ants. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 ants and 9 counters. Okay, let's go down to number 1 over here. Count the sandwiches and then put the number of counters in our 10 frame. So for each sandwich, I'm going to put a counter. And remember, you need to mark it so that you don't count it twice. So I do it one at a time. That way I know what sandwich I counted and I don't put too many counters that are not needed. So I keep marking off one sandwich and adding a counter. And now we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 sandwiches. All right, let's go over here and do the same with these sandwiches. So we're going to use one counter for one sandwich. One sandwich, one counter, one sandwich, one counter, and we're going to keep doing this until we've used all of the sandwiches. Now let's see how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 sandwiches. All right, let's go over here. 1 sandwich, 1 counter. 1 sandwich, 1 counter. Keep doing it until you cross off all of your sandwiches. Okay. Let's count our counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 sandwiches, and we've used counters to represent them. Let's go to our next page. That way we can do some more problems together. Okay, let's look at number 4. What you're going to do is you are going to draw counters to represent each of the items to see how many. So what we do first is we are going to draw a line and then draw a counter. And it doesn't matter, again, where you start, just as long as you know which object you are counting. So we keep going until we have no more of these objects. These are milk cartons. All right, we almost filled up our 10 frame. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 milk cartons. All right, number 5. Let's count these juice boxes. Or let's use counters to figure out how many juice boxes we have. So 1 juice box, 1 counter, and we're going to do that until we use up all of our juice boxes, and then we can count how many counters are in our 10 frame. All right, let's see how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 juice boxes. All right, let's go to number 6. Now we have our water bottles. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to mark off 1 water bottle, and add a counter. And we're going to continue marking off each water bottle as we add a counter to our 10 frame. And that way I know that I didn't miss any water bottles. All right, we know that the top is 5. So if we know that that's 5, we can start counting after 5. So I can say 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 water bottles. Let's go to our next page. And you are going to do those on your own. I'll do the first one with you. Okay, so we're on number 7. Let's count the apples. And then we are going to draw counters in our 10 frame to show how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we showed how many apples we have in our 10 frame. I want you to do the same for 8 and 9 on your own. And for number 10, draw 8 or 9 oranges and then draw counters to show how many. All right, superstars, you're doing a wonderful job. Keep up the good work. Until next time, have a wonderful day. Bye.